The firefall. It started in the night, though few realized it at first. The stars above, bright and steady as always, began to flicker. Then, one by one, they blinked out, as if a vast cosmic curtain was being drawn. People awoke to the eerie silence, but it was too late. The first embers, red as molten lava, began to fall. At first, they were small, pinpricks of light in the vast blackness of the sky. They appeared to be falling slowly, as if caught in some invisible wind. People thought they were meteors, nothing more than a celestial show, and gathered in the streets to watch. But then the pieces grew larger, and they began to sizzle, like the crackling of a fire on a cold night. A thin smoke hung in the air, strange and acrid, mixing with the ozone of the charged atmosphere. Then came the sound, a deep, rumbling roar that seemed to come from everywhere at once, shaking the earth. The first of the firefalls struck the city just before dawn, a great flare of light crashing down from the heavens. It obliterated a skyscraper in an instant, and for a brief moment, it felt as if the sun itself had risen, though it was still hours before daybreak. The flames spread with unnatural speed, consuming everything in their path. People screamed and ran, but there was no escaping the relentless downpour of fire. In the panic that followed, the world's response was chaotic. Governments declared martial law, but their efforts were futile. The fires fell without mercy, without pattern, as if the very sky had turned against them. They burned across continents, igniting forests, cities, and oceans. The air itself thickened with smoke, a constant haze that blocked out the sun. Nothing could stop it. Sarah stood at the edge of the burning city, her breath shallow, her heart hammering. The horizon was painted in shades of orange and red, and the heat pressed down like an iron fist. Her home was already gone, reduced to ash in a matter of minutes. She had lost everyone, her parents, her friends, her dog, all consumed by the flames. She was alone, and the world was dying around her. As the firefall continued, people began to realize the horror of it. This was no random disaster, no natural event. The fire was coming from the heavens, not from the earth. It was something older, something ancient, an omen, or perhaps a punishment. The sky itself seemed to be angry. But even as the flames threatened to consume everything, there were those who tried to find a way out, who held on to hope as if it were a lifeline. Sarah wasn't sure why, but she felt drawn to the mountains to the north. There had been whispers of survivors gathering there, of a place untouched by the flames. It seemed like a foolish hope, but it was the only hope left. With the horizon still burning behind her, Sarah began her journey, knowing that she might never see another daybreak, but somehow determined to walk until the fire consumed her, too. There was nothing else to do. No one knew if the firefall would end or if it would keep falling until the world itself burned to ash. But deep in her heart, Sarah felt something stir, a spark of defiance. Perhaps the world was dying, but she was alive. And as long as she was alive, she would keep walking, no matter what fell from the sky. The end of the world had come, but it had not yet claimed her soul.